Do you ever have doubts? Maybe more specifically, doubts about your faith, doubts about the Bible, doubts about Jesus. Does that ever bother you? Have you ever wondered, is it okay to doubt? Well, that's the question we're talking about in this video, so stick around. You might be surprised by my answer. Hey, my name's Brian, and this is Practically Biblical, where we share stories of Scripture and offer practical tools, tips, and insights to help you grow in your knowledge and understanding of the Bible. So if you find this content helpful, give this video a like and consider subscribing for new content every Wednesday. Cool? Cool. Is it okay to doubt? That's a big question. For many of us who grew up in the church, we probably felt like the answer was always no. It's never okay to doubt. Doubt always felt dangerous, and I used to wonder if that was because expressing doubt made others concerned that I was losing my faith, or if it challenged others in areas they never thought about or simply didn't have answers for. I know that's not been the case everywhere, but I would venture a guess that the majority of people who grew up in the Christian faith in the United States and have ever dared to ask hard questions have had a similar experience. I think that's a primary reason why many people, maybe yourself included, have walked away from their faith or just find themselves going through the motions with no real depth of faith to speak of. Both of those outcomes are unfortunate, but completely natural and understandable when we're unable to express our doubts and explore possibilities. So before we answer the question of whether or not it's okay to doubt, let's look at what doubt can lead to. Number one, doubt can lead to negative thinking. Doubts have a way of stirring negative thoughts and emotions in us that threaten to pull us away from whatever or whoever it is that we have doubts about. This is true whether we have doubts about anything from our team's commitment to winning to our significant other's feelings about us. If left unchecked and unexpressed, that negative thinking will drive a wedge between you and them and lead to a lack of motivation to seek understanding or reconciliation, even if that doubt was unfounded to begin with. When it comes to doubts related to your faith, this kind of negative thinking can spread quickly and cause you to throw out your entire belief system because of one little question you never asked. Number two, doubt can also lead to a change of direction. And that can be positive or negative, really. It depends on the direction you were going in the first place. When I'm in a new place and driving around town, I always doubt myself and my sense of direction. Most of the time, that's a good thing because it causes me to pull out my GPS and go in the direction it tells me to. But I've also been known to change course because I thought I knew better and in the end found myself in quite the wrong place. So when it comes to your faith, doubt can cause you to move farther away from Jesus or closer to him, depending on how you address it. Number three, doubt can lead to a deeper commitment. Similar to a change in direction, when we have freedom to express and explore our doubts, we may actually find the answers we're looking for. They may not always be the answers we want or expect, but either way, those answers can solidify our commitment one way or the other. So again, as far as it relates to your faith, as backward as it sounds, your doubts could actually lead to a deeper commitment in your faith. Now, the fourth and final thing I'll mention is that doubt can lead us to new ways of thinking. Having the freedom to explore your doubts can open up possibilities you never considered before. Maybe the way you've been taught is wrong and you're right to doubt. Maybe your assumptions are wrong and the only way you ever recognize that is to lean into your doubts. And I think the same is true regarding the doubts you may have about your faith, the Bible, Christianity, and even about Jesus. So, is it okay to doubt? I suggest it absolutely is okay to have doubts. I believe it's actually pretty natural as we mature in our faith. That's one of the reasons I recently created a series of videos on the most unbelievable stories in the Bible. Those stories, as they were taught to us as children, understanding there is an age appropriateness to why they were taught to us that way, don't always make sense to our adult logical minds as we grow up. So we begin to doubt whether or not they actually happened or if everything we've ever been taught has been a lie. I happen to believe that God is bigger than our doubts, and he's not afraid of them. In fact, some of the most famous people in the Bible who did some of the most incredible things had some major doubts leading up to those events. When God spoke to Moses and told him he would be the one to lead the Hebrews out of Egypt, where they had spent the previous 400 years as slaves, Moses had all kinds of questions and all kinds of excuses. When the angel of the Lord met Gideon in the winepress where he was tediously threshing wheat and called him out to lead his people to victory over the Midianites, Gideon needed all sorts of affirmation that he was the right person for the job. And Thomas, one of the most courageous of the 12 apostles, was skeptical when his buddies told him Jesus had risen from the tomb. He needed to see a walking, talking, resurrected Jesus with holes in his hands and his feet before he would believe it. All of these men had doubts, maybe even bigger doubts than you or I have, but each of them expressed those doubts. God met them in the midst of those doubts. Their faith was strengthened despite those doubts. So, not only is it okay to have doubts, but it could be the case that those doubts, if handled well, may actually be a precursor for significant growth in your life and faith. It could even be for the benefit of those around you who have the same questions but aren't willing to ask. I know that's been true for me. When my faith has been challenged and doubts begin to surface, even still today, it's not easy, but I now see it as an opportunity for growth, and it doesn't scare me so much. In my next video, I'll share my thoughts on how Christians can deal with doubt when it arises. But until then, I'd like to hear from you. How has your faith grown as a result of your doubt? Leave a comment and let me know. If you found this video helpful in any way, be sure to give it a like and maybe even click on that little red subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. The links to the videos I mentioned are posted in the description below, so check those out when you have a few minutes. And I'll see you in the next one.